this is part two. So, um, all right. So these five fiction, person templates, they live their lives. I don't know, maybe they're dead like 60 years. That's quite a decent life expectancy. Maybe maybe one of them dead earlier. So, so where would they reincarnate? They would reincarnate to they reincarnate in the same geographic area. Right. I can't say. That's a difference. I'm trying to make the point of this video is that you know a lot of people might see that scenario that I imagined is they can see negatives to the scenario, and maybe they only see the negatives. It's like you can imagine a different scenario that would be their ideal, but it's not. It doesn't match reality. And I'm like, before I turn into this video into one of these, because it's not really a philosophy video. Well, like, have you ever watched a philosophy lecture from a professor? It's much different. Um, they would never say what I'm saying. All right. Um, like some people really don't like the scenario I imagine. Ideally, they should leave the country because, um, you know, because they would have sympathy for these types of people, and thus, logically, it would make sense for them to leave the country. A different country would arrest a different type of person. Um, and thus, I'm like, but that doesn't explain why those these types of people does not they don't leave the country. It's actually a different type of person that leaves. Yeah. Anyone remember 2008? Actually, no, it was 2016, uh, where a lot of people were complaining over the Republican one, and because they were complaining about the election outcome, then um, some of them actually went to Canada, for example. They left the United States. They weren't really was right? So I'm just like it baffles me that some people just it just like I'm like, well, obviously they don't want to do it, right? And this is where they grew up, right? And because this is where they grew up, it's like they just don't have any reason to, right? They end up being one of these very negative types of people that I don't know. These types of people tend to sink into nihilism, and it's not cool, right? It's just like I don't know, like I suppose the thing is with YouTube is that I'm not really aware, except for the rough demographics of the viewers. Like, and it's like so much you could hide on the internet, right? Like, you have this username that you can come up with yourself, even if you. There's some users that put their real name, and then really like there's not much that a single image that is the avatar image. And I suppose YouTube used to have a background image for their channel. It just doesn't like the type of communication the internet can provide is limited to how the programmers created the functionality and all that stuff, right? It's just like when you create a website, like oftentimes if it ends up successful, like massively successful, your original vision will probably be very different from what actually ends up in the future, right? So, and then again, that's probably a lecture better suited for a computer science professor or something like that. But even, or like maybe like some business professors that they incorporate computers and they program them, where they specific examples. So, Um, it's like it just baffles me that a lot of people they have these opinions, and I'm just like, it's just like if they really like this types of people over other, I mean, it's just like, and then I'm like, all right, fine, and then I go find a different type of person, and for example, people who are commenting on I think the channel's called Police Activity or something like that, where they have body cams of the cops are wearing the body cams and the video is basically off of that. The commoners are very different. They they didn't really very pro justice in this case. Um, but then there's other people who are not so pro justice and they're not being honest. They're not wearing the clothing that indicates they like American prisoners. That's which is the American flag. They're not wearing those. And it's just like um or they're not wearing a shirt with a picture of a previous president that happens to be a certain political party. They're not making anything like that. It's just like um it's just like all right, so they're just not being they're just like very nihilistic and just, in many ways it's just like it's almost like you know it's called the opposite game, where it's like anything you like they don't like, anything you don't like they like. It's just like this is not thinking. This is mimicking almost, right? Um, because this is not thinking. This is just mimicking. You'd be surprised how many people live their lives mimicking, right? Like um, it's like monkey see, monkey do, kind of, not quite exactly, right? Um, it's my favorite movie that really describes this idea is actually They Live. It involves somebody who finds a magical pair of glasses and are able to see things more clearly. Right? Um, I don't know that many people with magical objects personally, though I've heard rumors on the internet that there are people with various abilities. Maybe they have a magic object that allows them to travel back in time or teleport. Um, I don't know anybody in real life with those objects, and there's quite a fair number of skeptics, people who are skeptical that don't think time machines or teleportation devices exist. Um, just like a lot of people, they resort to, where I live, people are very subdued, right, or inhibited. What does that mean? It means that um, I don't know how to describe it without looking at the dictionary and reading the definition. Um, but basically, they're just not there, right? I haven't the furthest east I've went in the United States is Texas. I've never been further east than that. So what would be North Texas? That's like Kansas, Missouri, Dakotas. So I've never been to like um, what's the top east of that? That would be Louisiana, uh, Illinois to Ohio, I think West Virginia, like, um, Arkansas, is Arkansas North? So I've never been. And then of course the East Coast has like dozens of states. So I've never been to that region. I don't know what it's like. Um, uh, so I don't know what it's like. I'm alright. So I'm gonna have to end this video before it. My goal is not to exceed 11 minutes.